Hello, top of the morning. Happy Friday from Gold Coast, Australia, and welcome to Inspired Live series with your host, Julie Cooper. Today we have a beautiful, wonderful, special, amazing, creative guest that we're welcoming today into the space. For those who are tuning in for the first time, Inspired Series is a series in space to help creatives who are blazing their own entrepreneurial pathways and to bring in beautiful guests who have inspired me on my journey to bring you the wisdom and the goodness that they have to provide. So I'm very blessed to welcome in Jess into the space, and then we can get cracking. So today we're going to be focusing on the importance of branding and being a mamapreneur. So for those who are wondering what a mamapreneur is, it's a mum who's actually doing badass things, creation, doing juggling everything in life, plus bringing up beautiful children. So add that to your. There you go. Add that to your vocabulary list for those who Aries. And we get to welcome in Jess. Yay!
Hello!
Hi.
Hi!
How are you, beautiful?
I'm so good. Can you hear me okay?
I
Oh
can hear
no,
you. I love that. I
the
hear
phone
you.
fell.
You're like, will this drop? Will this land? Will this stay here? Who knows?
Oh my
Honestly.
gosh. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure that this works. AirPods
Yes,
in, you can
yes.
hear me okay?
Hear you. Can everyone hear Jess? Leave us
Yay.
a message in the comment if you can hear us, and then that way I can hear you
Yeah, let us
perfectly
know.
fine, my love.
Hopefully the
I
phone
like
doesn't
hear
fall
her.
again.
Honestly, and if it does, let's just welcome in the falls of life.
Honestly, eclipse season, that's all I gotta say.
Holy freaking tacos! Can we just pause for a mo?
Oh man,
WTF?
for real.
IRL in real life, what is happening? So I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so for those who are watching, who are tuning in for the first time, or like, oh, who's Jess? I'm going to do a quick intro just to give you the felt sense of what we're going to be diving into, but also so you can connect with Jess on a more deeper level. So Jess has worked in a corporate background doing graphic design, and then she has found through her Saturn return her own biz to just like take control of her life, and not take control of her life, but to really step into that power um, and that creativity to support other people who are wanting to find their soul aligned clients through their branding, their design work. She's working on oracle cards. She's working on designing for beautiful television producers as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
This Jess is doing great things. She also is a beautiful mum to Millie. Her house and her social media looks like a Pinterest board, so I would highly suggest following. I'm literally like, your house is a goddamn Pinterest board. Um,
You know, it's like
really?
my favorite thing. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Like we built our house, so it was like a just blank color palette and blank canvas. So I'm like, okay, here we go. It's on. I was like, hubby, I know you're a Gemini stellium. I know you got the ideas. I know like you have all these like cool things you want to do. Let me do this though.
Yes, for sure. You've got to take that, like, I got this.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that Gemini stellium as well. You're like, whew, that's a auditings. Wow. Well, your house looks freaking incredible.
Thank
And
you.
what's beautiful is so your Aries, 2-5, human design, Manny Jen. What else is great about you? Oh, Latina. That's what I love. First generation.
First gen,
Um,
yeah.
Sick. I'm so here for that. You know,
This
that
is such a
indigenous
beautiful
roots.
intro, Julie. I really appreciate it. You like, this is so nice. I love it. Thank you
Yeah.
for looking into that and just like knowing all of that. That's so beautiful. I
Oh,
appreciate it so
absolutely.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's,
Oh.
yeah, first gen. I'm actually, it's funny because right now I'm at my parents' house. They're taking care of Millie. So I can actually focus
Oh,
for
okay.
once.
Yes, and sis, this is what I want to talk about. For those who are tuning in, a lot of, especially those mamapreneurs who are going from that corporate life, right, and wanting to kind of break out of that space and really start to set up for themselves. And this is what we can segue into, because this is the creating the spaciousness for yourself. And maybe what we'll do, we'll dive into. Do we go into branding first? You know what? I'm gonna say like, okay, so we're going to go backwards. You know, like blah, blah, blah. So, but how do you? This is what happens when
Reverse.
you're in
It's
the
eclipse
feminine flow
season.
state.
Like I said, so we're like, let's just do the shit in reverse. It's fine. We'll go with the flow. You know us.
Absolutely right. Oh, also for those who are tuning in, we actually met in Natalia Benson's container. So this is such a special honor. So big shout out to you, Natalia, for holding the space and bringing us beautiful divine women together. Couldn't have done it without you. So just wanted to acknowledge like how we've connected, you know, because that's pretty freaking badass, especially on the other side of the world, California, Australia.
I know.
You know, it's pretty cool.
Seriously, it's so powerful. The internet is so beautiful in that way.
It is it's a vibe. It's an absolute vibe. So okay, so now that you're at your parents' place and you're looking after Millie at the moment, so you have spaciousness to be here, to be present. I want to actually ask you the question: how do you find the time to manage your business with Millie? Like,
Um,
zoom in.
that's such a great question. I am learning every single day because she's only 6 months old right now, or she's actually about to turn 6 months next week on the 10th. Oh my God, I don't know how that happened. Um, so really just trying to like incorporate her in my morning routine, my business, and just literally just integrate her in my life. And that's the best way that I can do it all because honestly it's such a balance. At first I was trying to like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to focus on, just the business by itself and like not involve her. But when on days that I don't get help and like I'm home by myself, hubby's at work, I'm chilling at home, then it's like, okay, how can I integrate her with, even if it's just showing up on Instagram stories, right? Like sometimes I'll post her and like do a cute little like, oh, like what am I doing for the day? And then I'll post a picture of her, what she's doing, and then what my agenda is. But yeah, just really like integrating her with what um, with the business if I don't get help. Now, I always am a fan of getting help and asking for help. So that's like the biggest thing I've learned so far, I would say, is like actually asking for help and accepting help is such a big one for me. And just like allowing to receive that, but yeah, it's such a balance. It really is. It's when I'm, some days I go to the coffee shop. I go to the coffee shop about once a week to focus on my business. So it's like switching energies. In the morning I'll be with her and hang out with her, and it's my full attention when I'm with her, that especially that morning, because I know I'll have the time to devote to Whitefox right after that. So it's like, okay, it's Jess and Millie time in the morning, and then Daddy will hang out with us in the morning too before he goes to work. And then it's like, okay, let's switch energies and go to Whitefox mode. Let's go to work mode. And then when I get home, on the way home, I'm like, okay, it's mommy time again, and we can do a little bit of business stuff, but it's mostly little baby time. So switching the energies between that, I think, is really important too. But yeah, just learning and balancing every single day, honestly.
I love that though, because you've brought up some really great key messages here in the sense of like, I love that integration. Huge,
Yeah.
not trying to separate the two. It's like actually this is part of your life. So how do you integrate in the sense and make it flow for you? And it's all part of your story and personality and your brand. Do you know what I mean? Like it is your brand. If you suddenly didn't have Millie in the scene, it'd be like, look at that, it wouldn't speak to you.
I agree.
So I love that, the integration, and then you've got where you actually compartmentalize the time. Like this is actually, I'm here and I'm present in that moment. And then being able to switch off and go, actually, I'm actually in work now. and honoring that space and setting those boundaries.
And honestly, sometimes
No?
I can't do that. Sometimes it's like, oh shit, I have to do XYZ. You know what,
Yeah,
baby, let's go
right.
do it. Let's just go do it. Let's hang out. You can hang out in your pack and play. And mommy's just gonna like do a couple things on my phone or do a couple things on the laptop. And then after that, we're just gonna figure it out, or after
Yeah.
that, we'll go for a walk or something. So, but
Oh,
sometimes it's not as like graceful. I would say most times it's probably not graceful. Like, oh, I'm just going to like do, make it look so easy. It's not easy. It's just what you got to do, It's the balance and it's also just giving yourself so much grace, especially during this eclipse season. Honestly, it's giving yourself a lot of grace and just going with the flow. Plans change, and my Taurus rising ass is like, oh my gosh, no, no, no change. Please, no change. But it is what it is, and you just go with it.
I 100% hear you because I'm a Taurus and Millie's a Taurus as well, right? So I'm
Yeah,
like,
Millie's a Taurus. Yep. Yeah, you're like,
I'm like,
same.
be right back. Like I'll be in a cave and I'll be
Yeah,
nice and snug and
yeah,
just tell me when it's over. Yeah, I
totally.
hear you. And I love that it's actually normalizing being a mum and actually having kids. And if you can't integrate or create boundaries, when you can, absolutely. But also, let's just normalize that shit's gonna happen,
Yeah,
and you have to
and it
be like,
happens
let's
often.
just go with it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I honor you in that, and also thank you for sharing because I know that there's a lot of mums out there trying to like do the things, but they're also feeling such guilt, like
oh my gosh,
guilty being in the business, guilty not being the mother, or guilty of not having that time for their kids or self. And so thank you for just normalizing that and speaking that truth. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's so real. The mom guilt is real. But at the same time, it's like, what is going to, like, how I get satisfaction, how I am fulfilled, I'm able to pour into her and able to pour into my marriage and my relationships and my everyone around me, friends, family. So it's like work really fulfills me. Like the work that I do really fulfills me. So I know that by doing that, I'm a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm a better daughter, I'm a better friend, I'm a better whatever, partner, just everything. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. When you are fulfilled in your work, you can actually pour from a fuller cup. It hands down. So that's also, for those who are, as entrepreneurs, and it's like, are you actually doing what you love, or are you just creating a gratify something like you're just creating a new job for
Yeah.
yourself, but on your terms? You're like, no, do something. You just created a job for yourself, like So yeah, I love that. Just being able to tap in, do what you love, so that way when you are full, you can pour from a full cup.
Yeah, and then like when she gets a little bit older and she realizes, oh my goodness, my mommy's working, what does she actually do? Like showing Millie, hey, this is what I do. Like these are the clients I help. This is how it's helping the world. This is how it's helping like them as business owners. Like everything I'll get to share with her. And I think that that's pretty damn cool. My parents are entrepreneurs also, and they get to share with me what they do. And it's pretty rad. Like it's
It is
really cool.
rare. It
Yeah.
is, and it's such a path of like tenacity and
Yeah.
resilience, and
Oh
and
my
actually
gosh.
it's all stories that you get to create. Like, oh, I tried this thing, ugh,
Yeah.
and I launched this, but like this happened, and I met this cool people on the way, and it's like the stories are wholly yours, which is so cool and so empowering to those clearly you've been inspired by your parents, which then you've got this inspiration to share to your kids. So, or Maleficent, like that's beautiful. I love that. And so, okay, so what inspires you to show up in your business every day?
Wow. Great question. I would say, gosh, there's a lot to it. There's not only like you know, being a business owner, being really proud of the work that I do and the people that I get to help, and the clients, seeing them thrive, seeing them just doing what their dharma is, and helping them through that. by branding and making them, making the brand and the identity and representing them as they are. That really fulfills me. I would say the connections that I've made really fulfills me, like this, Julie. Hey. Also just like building my legacy, building my brand. There's just so much to the question. It's like being a mamapreneur, showing Millie, my path and how I've done it and the things that I get to work on. And yeah, I honestly just really love what I do too. So it's not hard to show up. It's like it just flows so easily to me. And sometimes it's like, okay, what content am I going to put out? Sometimes it's like, oh God, we all get stuck in that. It's like, oh shit, what am I going to put out today?
Can we just normalize it as well? Okay, everyone who's tuning in, let's just normalize it. It is. There are moments where you just feel like, shit,
yeah,
what do I post today?
What the hell am I going to post today? Should I post today? Should I wait till tomorrow? Oh God, do I need to batch this fucking content? I don't know. Am I allowed to question here? Sorry.
Yeah,
so yeah, I feel like there's days for sure, I think in your business, especially in like, in whatever season you're in, it's okay. But for me, I know this is what I really love to do. So it flows. It's just so easy for me.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really beautiful. Hi, Nadisha.
Hi, everyone, by the way.
Hi, everyone.
If you guys want to say something in the chat too, we can, whatever. I'd love to engage. So.
Yeah, right. Oh, I love it. I love. Okay, so I guess, so one, rebranding for your clients. Okay, so what's like been that aha moment for your client that you're like, wow, that really stood out for you in regards when you did their rebrand and the importance of it?
I think one of the main things for me when I do a rebrand for someone, or even just like a brand, if they're starting out too, is how they feel afterwards. It's like I ask them, I actually have like a survey. I just started doing this not too long ago where I'll ask how they felt before they hired me. A lot of them are like lost. I didn't know like how to make myself look professional. I didn't know how to like represent myself on Instagram or on my website. Like I didn't know, like they just didn't feel that connection of their brand. And then I'll ask them how they felt afterwards. And it's always like empowered, confident, like just badass, like unique, like standing out in their industry, like owning who they are. So I think that's like a really key thing for me. And that's what branding is, right? It's like the emotional, it's the feelings, it's like what you can bring out of the brand that will really help somebody and their business with representing themselves and showing up online and showing up in a brick and mortar if they have one, or just showing up in general for their brand, So for me, it's really like how they feel is like, oh yes, love this. This is like, and when you feel better about your brand, you're more likely to show up. You're more likely to like, spread it into the world. Like, hey guys, look at my website. Isn't it like beautiful? And, all these things, like, do you want to book my services or buy this product or whatever? It's like, you're more willing to show up and you're like excited as hell to show up. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Oh, that's the best feeling ever. Yeah. Isn't that great? I actually got little goosebumps because I was like, yes, it's so true, right? Like that coming in feeling lost and like, I don't even feel like I'm worthy of sharing stuff because I'm just so underwhelmed by my look and feel. And it's like, you get the makeover you deserve,
Yes.
You get to go to the gala, honey, and then you can show up and feel confident and alive and excited, and it is the feeling.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, right? Because people are like, oh, okay, cool, I get a pretty logo. I'm like, no, honey.
No.
It's a full, like, glow up. And I love that you do.
Damn glow up. I love that.
It's the online glow up. You're welcome. Mic drop, out of here.
I feel like you need to make a reel now that says something about glow up. I love that, Julie. That's so great.
I will. I'll add that to my list now. There we go. I'm actually going to write that down. I'm actually looking for content ideas. I'm like, yes, let's do the things. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I love that. So I love that you're one helping people, supporting your clients in their businesses to feel that they're worthy to be seen and to show up with excitement about their brand and willing to share their website after doing branding. I love that you're able to support all of your beautiful clients in their space of growth as well, because that shit, you got to alchemize it. It's not something that you just go, cool, give me logo, I go. It's like, are you ready to step into this power? Are you ready to really receive?
Yes. Yes. Seriously.
You know?
Yeah.
And so when people are going through these processes of rebranding, it really is the glow up. And it's like when you're shining your light brighter, that's when people can see you. And it's like, you know, like to receive and to open up to that. So love it. I love because it's a thing, right? This is why you show up every day.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, there is a bigger vision, there is a bigger mission that's guiding me in this world. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it's
so
like, sorry, go ahead, Julie.
no, go, because like flow.
I was gonna say, like, when they're able to show up in their business, they're helping all those people that need their help. You know, it's like that. I think that's what really inspires me, with all of what I do is that, you know, during my Saturn return, there was a lot of intensity going on as usual, really. Not to scare anyone, if you guys know what a solar return is, but pretty much, or Saturn, sorry. I keep saying solar return. It's a Saturn return.
I know what you mean. There's eclipses. Yeah.
So Saturn
I hear you.
it happens like when Saturn is at the same place it was when you were born. So it happens like around your 30s and around your 50s or 60s or something. So for me, it happened when I was like 28, so almost 30. There was a lot of intensity going on. That's when I really pivoted from corporate to Whitefox and owning my own business. And I was really just feeling like I was leaning on a lot of just like healing modalities. And once I started Whitefox, I didn't know how it was going to go, like who I was going to serve. I didn't really have a niche. I just knew, I come from a corporate background. I can do graphic design, love graphic design. It's always what I wanted to do, but I didn't have a niche. And then when I went through my Saturn return, I noticed that I was like using a lot of Reiki healers or a lot of crystals, a lot of just like moon energy, a lot of, tarot readers, just like all the healing people, all the healing beautifulness. And so then I was really like, okay, I think like this is who I want to serve, because when I was going through a really intense time, they were able to help me. And now we need them to be able to like help more people, like we need them to be able to have their glow up and represent themselves online and really serve. And that's like my life, I don't know, life mission, life goal, life purpose, life whatever, because I know that when my little daughter needs some sort of something, whether it's healing or whether it's like, maybe I want to pull this oracle deck, or I want to get some Reiki, or like buy some crystals, or whatever it is, or just really buy consciously too, like even conscious business as well, like that's really important to me, and supporting that, then I know that she can lean on business owners like us and like the people that we help, So yeah, I just went on like a whole rampage, but
I absolutely
really
love
what
it.
I love.
I think that's true, is that people don't realize that there is Saturn returns. And I went through my own as well. When I was 28, 29, left my corporate role. And so I 100% hear you. And then you hear about it in the after, like an after fact. You're like, is that what I went through?
Totally. It's like, shit,
okay, like a heads up would have been nice. Yeah, I 100% hear you. So yes, your Saturn return is really, thank you for covering that. I think those who are listening will be like, oh my gosh, I can totally relate. Or potentially moving through it now and feeling like, no, you're not alone. You're good, So
Yeah.
I 100% hear you on that. And also those who we're serving in the space of those that we needed at that time, that we can now serve them to bring out their light and their glow up. It's like, cool, how do we make this more accessible? How do we help them to help their networks?
Yeah.
And creating a better world. So like, I mean, It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I mean,
solid, pretty good.
it's like, I feel like it's honestly like what I'm here to do in this life,
100%. It's
you
totally
know?
your dharma, and I love it. Like, it lights you up.
Yeah.
Your house is amazing. Your, like, I love graphic designers' homes and content. I literally am like, it's so pretty. Like, you get it. You get color palettes. You get spatial awareness in the things. Like, so I'm just really glad you are doing this. So I just wanted to
And it's
thank
also
you.
like, when you're in your house, you want to feel some type of way. Like my office has a way different feel than my living room or my bedroom, or Millie's room. It's like you really want to design for the space. And when I'm in my office and I know, like I'm working in there, and sometimes I just chill in there too. Honestly, it's just like, oh, I have a couch, let's just hang out. But like I want to feel good. I want to feel inspired. I want to feel like I don't have like hella shit on the walls, because then it'll just really distract me, and I want it to feel just calming. It's very Taurus rising of me, actually. My office, I have a bunch of plants. I've got moons everywhere, like moon mirrors. I've got my little couch. It's velvet. It's so cozy. Because then
Love
it
it.
really calms my Aries fire down too. Like I can still be
Really.
like Aries fire, like, oh my gosh, go, go, go. But the office just kind of grounds me, just pulls me down. And same with Millie's room, because she's a Taurus too. So she's like, okay, mom, chill.
I love that, and it's interesting because mine Aries is rising, so we like
Oh,
opposites,
oh
and
yeah.
so I get it. So it's so true. My office now, I've made it more. I put more greenery because I'm like, your girl needs to just. It's interesting, the balance.
And also too, like I talk about astrology a lot too. I really infuse astrology with branding, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I remember not studying astrology as a little girl, but learning about it. Not as Definitely not as much as before, like now at all. I know so much more than I did even growing up. I feel like there's so much more resources now too, than in the 90s. Um, and yeah, I really infuse astrology with branding. I feel like that is one of the fun parts of the branding that we can really lean into. Like one of the projects, actually most projects that I do now, while really leaning into like the astrology of their chart, of the business's chart, which is really cool.
Yes.
So for example, the TV producer, she had a Taurus rising for her business. And I was like, oh my gosh, we really got to lean into that. Like, that's so cool. So the color palette was greens and pinks and just like beautiful, calming, but also vibrant too. Um, and so like we really do the whole astrology thing with the branding and like rely on the moon. It's really just like it's a spiritual experience.
It really is. Branding is a spiritual experience. Like anyone who
Yeah,
doesn't call it, like,
yeah,
it really is. It's like, cool, we're going to go dive deep. Are you
yeah.
ready to unravel, to re-revel yourself into something new? So it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
It's so gorgeous. And, playing with color palettes and really exploring that is such a creative experience, right? It's
Yeah,
like you get to design, honey, and I love that. And
that's
so,
so good.
okay, so what would be your top 3 tips
Ooh.
as a creative entrepreneur who's also a mamapreneur, a wifepreneur, like, you got all the things. What would be your top 3 takeaways for those who are tuning in?
So especially for mamapreneurs, but really like for anyone, help. That's like number one. Ask for help
What's
and receive the help. Like actually learn to receive. That's been a really big one for me too. I've really worked with Natalia on receiving as well. Um, yeah, just because I'm an Aries, I'm ready to like, and an MG, I'm ready to just do everything, do all the things. And then I don't slow down enough to actually receive. So that has been a really big one for me. Um, let's see, gosh, other two other tips. Um, I'm trying to think of other ones. I'm like, that one is just super coming through for me, the asking for help and receiving help, honestly. I'm like, I can't think of any other ones. Because they're so just Yeah, they're just so important.
I think that's it. If that's the
Yeah,
top tip, then I
yeah,
think that's it. You know,
yeah,
like it's really just giving you space to go, is there three? There might not be. If
yeah.
there's one, which is asking for help, learning to ask for help, and then also receiving. I hear you. I couldn't
Yeah,
receive to freaking save myself. I was like, nah, let alone ask for help. I was like, no. You know,
yeah.
I was that kid that was like, I'll put my own clothes on or I'll put my own highlighter green pants on. Like, I will
So
choose
this
my
is what I have
outfit.
to look forward to with an Aries baby, Julie.
And I thought I was a real, to be honest, I asked mom and I was like, I must have been like a real quiet, timid child. She's like, no, you taught me how to be a mother. I was like, oh, I'm so
Bitch.
obsessed, mom. I know, yeah. She was like, you would just, you know, like, no, I want to wear this. And I'd sit in the corridor and just with all my clothes out, being like, what am I going to wear today? You're
Oh,
going to school, honey. You're going to school. No one knows. You're going to get dirty anyway. You know, so I hear you. The support, asking for help and receiving help. So if
the
that's the key
receiving
takeaway,
part, yeah, is like has been such a key for me, especially I'd say within the last 6 months since I had Millie. It's like it's such a big one. And
yes.
it applies to everything in life. It applies to your business. It applies to your children. If you have children, it applies to your if your marriage, if you're married, or a romantic relationship, or your job, or like literally.
Everything, and I could even add to that, even wealth and
Well,
acceptance, receiving. Like it's all receiving and going. I actually feel comfortable with this, and I
yes,
um doesn't psych out my nervous system because it's like if I did the same, like I'd receive and have to give straight away. So I'm like, oh, and I just
yeah,
like spit it back out, and you're like, what are you doing? Just like hold the receiving. So,
yep.
oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, um, so my love, I've absolutely enjoyed our conversation. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in. I've seen your comments. That's
Yay!
it. Publo York Inc. Thank you so much. Loving this conversation. So beautiful.
Yay!
So cool. And I just wanted to reiterate that how cool to what keeps you thriving in your business is incredible. Showing up to serve, to help others who can then help others. So that's
Yeah,
amazing. Having that glow up online, having that ability to be seen in their full radiance, and having that confidence, when doing branding and how it's so important. I just really echoed that as well. And to be able to create that space with Millie in the sense that, she has integrated into your brand.
yes,
So it's
hell
like cool
yeah.
you to integrate. Otherwise, we will try and find spaces where we can allocate, from work time to family time, so that way it's really separate. Otherwise, if all shit hits the fan, you go, okay, cool, let's go, baby. Like
That
we're
was
gonna
like
have to do
today
the
for me.
things,
Yeah, that was
So
today for me. Yeah, it's like this didn't go according to plan. It's fine. We'll figure it out. And that's actually there's another hot tip for you.
yes,
Go with the flow because
yes, I love
it
that.
honestly like I'm such a structured person and being a mom, you can't really be. It's like I
Oh,
always say it's a funny joke because it's like, yeah, there's no structure to this. It's just it can be a shit show sometimes, and you just go with the flow, and then that's it, and then you survive and you made it, and everything's fine. So
right.
yeah,
That is so true. You will survive. That song always comes into my head. Sometimes there's like, just as long as I know how to love,
I should play that
I'll
every
stay
day. Like
alive.
this is me. Woo.
You really do. Sometimes like I get like soundtracks that drop in, and I'm just like, oh no, not this song again. But I'm like, I hear you. So tell the audience who's watching. Hi Megan, welcome. So tell us, how do we work with you and your creations, the Whitefox creations? Fill us in.
So you can either go on my Instagram, and I think it's pinned here. I'm sure you guys can see it. I think it's at whitefox.graphicdesign. Um, Send me a message, or you can go onto my website and fill out my contact form, and then we can schedule a call and see what you guys need help with as far as branding, graphic design. I'm working on an Oracle deck design this week. super pumped. Actually, all month long. I'm super pumped about it. It's gonna blow your mind.
I'm
Let me
so
just
freaking
say,
excited.
it's so
I
exciting.
actually, oh, I'm just so excited. It's actually interesting. I was working with them, and I love that, right? Because we both do branding in a sense, and it's like, let's go. Like, who can
Yeah,
we support? Who can we help? This ain't no competition essence. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, girl, let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Hell
And
yeah,
people get quite confused and like, oh, you're, like doing, and I'm like, yeah, because why wouldn't you? Like, this
yeah.
is,
We have to stick together. There's
yeah,
like designers, like we really need each other, honestly. And it's cool too because like
absolutely.
we can really like the designer community. When I was going to design school, I really leaned on my peers, right? It's like I would design something and I'd be so stressed out or something the day before and like, oh my gosh, I don't know how this looks, or I need help with like tweaking this or whatever. Like something's off, or does this look good, or what do you guys think? And really the next day I'd just come to class and be like, hey guys, what do you think? And then everyone would pitch in, and it's just like a community, you know? And then online, it's the same. Like, you know, going back and forth with designers and saying like, hey, what do you think? Like, how, you know, how's my font size? How's my type? How's this? How, like, what comes to mind when you look at this certain branding? Like, what do you think this branding is for? You know, so it's like the community of designers is so needed. We really need each other. Gotta stick
It
together.
really is.
Yeah,
I 100% hear you.
yeah,
Oh, it's yeah, the essence of community and connections is like so tight.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And so I totally jumped because I was like, so okay, so ways we can work with you is one, check in. I know I was like
Where did we go? Squirrel.
squirrel. So um, so we can work with you in the sense that we can find you on Instagram. You have a website link, which means that you can fill out an application form to meet with Jess and to actually, vibe and just connect and, to really embrace your branding, graphic design, and designer creations. You've also brought out, t-shirt range. Is that available now?
The t-shirt, the astrology t-shirts. Those are on my website. Actually, those are, if you click on my link on the Instagram bio, you click on I think it's astro merch or astrology merch. They're available. They're
Okay.
so exciting. See,
Same.
this is my MG energy. I just do all the things, you know.
Which
That's
is
how we roll.
awesome. I love it because you're like, cool, when you do the things, you get t-shirts. I love that. So there
Yeah.
are so multiple ways to work with Jess. So whether
Yep.
it's branding, graphic design, oracle decks, creations, t-shirt designs, clearly she's brought out her own t-shirts, which is cool, her Astro merch, which is so incredibly fire. So yeah. Oh, that's so cool, Jess. So I just want to say thank you. So I was actually just about to segue into like, so what are you doing afterwards? Like, what? Jules, run alive. It's that energy, right? You're just like, so what's for dinner? Like, hey yo.
I love you, Julie. I could talk to you all day, honestly.
Yeah, no. I'm like, and then also I'm like, I think I'm hungry. So I'm gonna segue out of this so that way this is one of those things. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
No, right?
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for creating space to show up, to share your voice, share your message, and to share your wisdom as a mamapreneur and the importance of branding. We really appreciate you. And yeah, I hope you have a really beautiful Thursday night in the, is it sunny California? Is it sunny today?
It's sunny today. It was raining yesterday, so I'll take it. But I really wanted to thank you too, Julie. I really appreciate everybody on this live, and thank you for having me on. And yeah, we'll have to do more of these.
It's so much fun, eh?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes, I'd
love
actually
including
love
life.
to actually something about like the tips on how to receive would be
Ooh,
something. Let's dive into at a later stage.
let's
Maybe
do
I can
it.
send it to my email database or something like that. Because girl, it's
Yeah,
not whoever's tuning in.
yeah. Right?
You're not alone. Right.
Seriously.
So yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this here before we literally start talking about food. Love you heaps. Till next time. I look forward to actually end up. I know that there is a Christmas like a party early December, but oh, a girl can dream. Maybe anyway. I look forward to seeing you in IRL in the
Yes, I
future.
know. Seriously, we'll have
right?
to do something.
I would love
Thank
that.
you
I would
so
absolutely
much.
love that. Sending you so much love, my Latina queen.
I love you.
Till next
Thank you all
time.
everyone for watching.
Thank you. Oh, gorgeous. See you, honey. Bye, gorgeous. How beautiful is Jess? Isn't she such a delight? Yeah, so for those who have been tuning in, um, really, really appreciate your time and energy. And for those who are watching the replay, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. We did discuss the importance of branding and being a mamapreneur and all of the facets of it and how to actually navigate being an entrepreneur, a mamapreneur, and yeah, staying creative and staying inspired in the space. So have a beautiful afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are tuning in from. Sending you so much delicious good love. Happy Friday to my Southern Hemisphere peeps. Happy Thursday to my Northern Hemisphere peeps. Love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day. Toodles.